Hi, it's Daniel, and thank you for joining me on Chasing Energy today. This is a special episode. It is the first time there will not be an interview, and it will probably be the first of many because at the suggestion of some of my peers and supporters, I'm going to break up the whole interview thing, kind of reinvent the podcast to be about half talking and about half interviewing because reflection is important, and I feel like I can deliver more value to you as a listener if I consolidate some of my thoughts and information, not only from my guests, but my life and what I've been researching. So with that being said, there's a lot of changes planned, including a website, a newsletter, and this format. So let's proceed. Today's message, it is no coincidence that this message comes on Thanksgiving. I'm recording this on right about 5 o'clock in the evening on Thanksgiving Day. And today's message is that you should sprinkle humility on the meal of expectations. You should sprinkle humility on the meal of expectations. And what that means is, today in particular, I was fortunate enough to, after, 4 or 5 months of not running, to get back into the mix today. The weather was perfect and I didn't have my children, and I thought, I can't come up with a reason not to at least try to get back out there on the trail. And usually I would temper my expectations a little bit. With the injury I've been suffering with for the last year or two, essentially I would run and my back would hurt the rest of the day. So I've been doing a lot of rehab work, and today was the first day where I kind of gave myself permission. Let's just try and see what happens. But in order to protect myself, I had to set some rules in place. And those rules came from a place of humility, meaning don't get carried away. I know in the moment it feels fine, but then there's things that happen later. So I put a series of protocols in place before, during, and after the run to kind of protect me from myself. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, and you are an overachiever, and you're always trying to develop yourself, one of the things we have to be careful of is to protect ourselves from ourselves. Yes, I know, it sounds silly, but the way to do that is to add a little bit of humility into our expectations. Now, when we think about humility, you think about, just don't brag, but in the case of dealing with one's self, I think it's a form of self-grace, meaning today, Daniel, I don't want you to get carried away about not getting this project done today or not getting these things done today. Just try to show up. And yeah, I know that sounds a little bit soft or woo-woo, but that grace that I give myself, I almost always never regret it, because if anything, it gives me permission to say, okay, I don't have to do this to this level today. And because I have that grace, I end up generally doing more or feeling better about what I did do that day. So if you come from me, which I'm a classic Gen Xer, you come from the school of hard knocks and, push yourself to the limit. And often there's a lot of reprimand for myself when I don't achieve what I set out to do. But today is a good example of how I sprinkled humility on my expectations. And the way I did that was I had sort of a Galloway method of I would jog for a little bit. My heart rate would get to a certain point and then I would walk. And believe me, I was tested when somebody would jog past me during one of my walking phases, and I would think, I can catch them, I can pass them. But it would not have brought me joy. And in the end, when I finished the run, I felt so much joy. I was like, it is so good to be surrounded by nature. It is so good to be back out and hearing the sound of the leaves under my feet. And that is why I went out there. I didn't go out there to chase a pace. So, sorry if this first mini-sode podcast seems a little bit on the soft side for someone who's such a hardcore disciplinary, but these are years of experience talking here. And humility has served me, grace has served me in the last year in terms of allowing me to enjoy my life more and be more present. So that's what I wish for you today. I want you to think about this holiday season. Maybe you have that extra piece of pie, or you missed the gym workouts 1 or 2 in a row. Give yourself grace, which is not to be confused with just being lazy. Giving yourself grace means give yourself understanding. For example, you may be a little bit tired or hungover, and your workout may not be great, but you do need to show up. You do need to say, I'm going to do this today. And if you're not going to hit the gym today, then by golly, set up time to go for a walk or something along those lines. So you can see here, it's a double-edged sword. It's not saying you get to binge on Netflix all day. It is saying give yourself grace with your expectations. Set those expectations in reality and set them so that at the end of it, you're happy that you showed up. Thank you for listening to this first episode. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And please post a review, especially if you had some thoughts on the new format. Thank you so much for listening to Chasing Energy. I know there's a lot of podcasts vying for your time, and I hope to bring you more value in the episodes to come.